Stories from the stars. The group of stars seen as a group when viewed from Earth is called a constellation. If the stars in the group are connected by virtual, imaginary lines, certain shapes emerge. Ancient astronomers likened these shapes to some animals and heroes in legends. They believed that they were lifted up to the sky by the gods. Most of the constellations were named by the ancient Greeks and Romans, although they may have taken these names from the Babylonians as well. Myth is the word spoken or heard. It means tale, story, legend. Logic, on the other hand, means science, although its first meaning is a word. So mythology means the science of myth. Although myth means the stories told about the gods of a polytheistic religion, it never became a religious book in the First Age. Because these legends did not rise to the level of belief as in monotheistic religions. The myths, which are subject and processed in all branches of oral or written literature and art, and which change as they are processed, have taken as many forms as there are poets, writers, and artists. And for this reason, they have never been collected as a single book of a certain religion. The old myth is secular. It is the work of the artist, not the clergy. In order to understand the birth of mythology, it is necessary to look at the life of human beings in ancient times. Primitive man also needs to know. He wants to know the causes of natural events, where he came from, where he goes, what life is, the secret of death. Primitive man tries to find an explanation for them. Everything is surprising and scary for him. It cannot provide a rational explanation of natural phenomena. Therefore, it is necessary to fill the universe with supernatural creatures. It makes the lives, behaviors, and characters of these supernatural beings resemble those of humans. But they must have powers, abilities, virtues, and vices that are not matched by humans. After these gods emerged, various tales were invented about them and mythology was born. The Greeks did not make up all these tales themselves. They got it from the nations with whom they had relations, the Egyptians, Assyrians, Phoenicians. They included them in their beliefs and decorated them with fairy tales. These tales did not remain the same after they were born, they grew and multiplied from generation to generation. These tales are written later. They are beautified by the efforts of poets, tragedies, and philosophers. The reason why the legend has survived for centuries and survived the prohibitions of monotheistic religions is that many things that make people think and move are not explained in a clearer, more beautiful and sublime way than in these legends. Because the richness of Greek myth, nature and human, culture and art, the world and the hereafter, that is, the most temporary and most permanent things. Aries constellation. The constellation Aries is linked to a famous story in Greek mythology called Jason and the Search for the Golden Fleece. The story begins with the unhappy children of a broken family. Phrixus and his sister Helle were the children of Athamas, king of Boeotia, and his wife, Nephele. This family is shaken by the death of the queen. Later, King Athamas married Ino, the daughter of Cadmus, king of Thebes. However, Ino can't stand the children and sets a trap for them. First, she spills a harmful substance on the fields of Boeotia, causing crop damage. The king sends his chief advisors to Delphi to ask the gods why the crops are damaged and how the crops can be saved. Meanwhile, Queen Ino bribes the advisors to get the king's response to sacrifice of children. The king hesitates to sacrifice children. But here Ino steps in again and bribes the local priests as well. All the priests begin to insist on the sacrifice of children. The king takes his children to a nearby mountain for sacrifice. Meanwhile, their birth mother, Nephele, watches everything from heaven. She asks the gods to send a golden fleece to protect her children. Just as the king is preparing to sacrifice his children, the golden fleece Aries comes to take the children. The children ride on Aries' back. Aries flies them to Asia. Unfortunately, on the Dardanelles, the little Helle loses its balance and falls into the water. For this reason, the Dardanelles Strait is referred to as Hellespont in Greek mythology. Despite everything, Phrixus continues on his way. Aries dropped him off at a place called Chalcis, northeastern Black Sea region, Georgia, in the Caucasus Mountains. To show his gratitude, Phrixus sacrifices Aries to Zeus. He hangs the golden fleece of Aries on the sacred oak tree. The golden fleece is guarded by a giant snake, serpent, that surrounds the tree and never sleeps. For this reason, Zeus took Aries to the sky. It is rumored that the skin of the Aries sign sacrificed to Zeus was given to Aetes, king of Chalcis, by Phryxus. King Aetes hides this unique skin in a grove dedicated to the god of war Aries. In this part of the story, a group of brave, powerful sailors calling themselves the Argonauts, seeking the golden fleece and their leader Jason, step in. The Argo, whose name means fast, was a 55-oar ship built for the heroes who set out to search for the golden fleece in the Black Sea country of Chalcis, Georgia. It was made by a master called Argos. The reason for the expedition is interesting. King Aeson of Iolcos loses the throne to his half-brother Pelkas. When Aeson's son Jason comes of age, he confronts Peleus and demands the throne back. To get rid of him, Peleus first orders him to go to Chalcis and bring the golden fleece that Phrixus left there. Jason is forced to take this journey. It gathers together all the brave, dashing and valiant people in Greece. With the help of the wise goddess Athena, daughter of Zeus, they set out after the great master Argos had a ship built. The Argonauts appear before King Aetes to retrieve the golden fleece. Meanwhile, the king's daughter, Medea, sees Jason. She falls madly in love with him. Medea is a powerful sorceress. King Aetes pretends to be willing to give the golden fleece. But first, he asks Jason to slay a dragon and run 2 fire-breathing bronze-footed bulls to the yoke. Jason reluctantly agrees to these terms. The sorceress princess Medea tells Jason she will help if he takes herself as a wife. Then she prepares a magical balm for the valiant Jason. And the body that applies this ointment neither gets injured nor dies during the day. After the dragon's teeth are planted in the ground, armed men will emerge from the ground. And if you throw a stone between these men, they will clash among themselves and kill each other, she said. Everything happens just as Medea said. Jason manages to subdue the bulls, plant the dragon's teeth in the field, and kill each other with gunmen coming out of the ground. However, Aetes still refuses to give the golden fleece. He tries to burn the Argo ship and kill the Argonauts. However, Medea, who is in love with Jason, moves fast and manages to steal the serpent's golden fleece with Jason. And they boarded the Argo ship and set out. Medea hatches a gruesome plan to keep her father from keeping up with them. She killed her younger brother Absyrtus, whom she took with her, and they fled, scattering his pieces on the road. Aetes and his men, following behind them, wasted time collecting the pieces of Absyrtos, so they could not keep up with the Argonauts. Jason and the Argonauts returned to Iolcos to give the golden fleece to his uncle Peleus. Upon receiving the news that his father Aeson has died, Jason sees that his uncle Peleus is also unwilling to return the throne. Here is a creepy game from Medea. The sorceress Medea, who befriends the daughters of Peleus, says she will teach them how to rejuvenate their aging father. And as an example, she takes an old ram and cuts it. She throws the ram she cut into a cauldron boiling with magical herbs, showing that a young lamb emerges. Pelias' daughters believe in the sorceress Medea and kill their father and throw them into the cauldron. When they see that Pelias is not resurrected, they are devastated and driven from their homeland. After Jason and Medea commit this crime, they are expelled from Iolcos by Pelias' son. We have come to the end of this incredible story. I hope you liked it. If you like my video, please press the like button. Don't forget to also subscribe to my channel. See you in other videos. Bye.